Let's go. And hello! We're live. If you're watching this live, welcome to the Adam Sandler podcast. the podcast where we, for some reason, take a annoyingly deep dive into Adam Sandler's career, his sordid career. And this week, we're taking a look at. I don't want to spoil the whole discussion here, but one of the worst movies I have ever seen. It's Grown Ups, #1. And as always, I have my trusty co-host and friend Christopher with me.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Right. I don't know, man. This is one of the movies I've been dreading for a while now. And I thought I had seen the beginning of this. I think I mentioned that last week. But I hadn't seen anything from this. I'd seen the first 10 or 20 minutes of the second movie. So I was pleasantly surprised when it didn't start the way I thought it was going to start. It's like, oh, it's not that terrible movie. Maybe this will be good. No. I mean, I knew it wouldn't be good, but it wouldn't be as terrible as those 20 minutes I'd seen. But nope, it was just as terrible. It's I don't even know where to start. Do we even want to watch the trailer? I mean, there is a trailer for this movie, but I can't in good conscience call this a movie. I'm jumping ahead. First of all, let's start with what did you think of the movie?
So we're not doing the trailer then?
No, you know what? I don't care. I have some clips picked out for this one.
Okay.
We might watch those, but I don't care about watching a trailer because there's no plot. It's just 5 families on vacation.
There was a plot in the beginning, then they sort of forgot about it. With the coach and the stuff.
Oh yeah, there was a plot in the first 15 minutes.
Yeah. Well, so I mentioned this last time, I think. I've seen this movie before.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right.
Yeah. So I saw it around the time when it came out, maybe when it came out on DVD, I think. Because I saw this at a friend's house. It wasn't a movie night. It was more like this was something on in the background.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't. We weren't sitting down looking at this movie. It was we put on the movie and then we were talking. So.
Oh, okay.
So I have seen it, and in that context, I remember it as not that awful. I remember it as this was kind of a crappy comedy, but nothing else. I mean, so, and now when I went back to watching it, actually for real,
actively watching it.
Yeah, it's a quite different experience this time.
Yes.
I mean, it's because So I was going into this movie. Yeah, it's not gonna be that bad. It's not gonna be. We've seen worse. It's not gonna be that bad. And yes, we have seen worse. I'm gonna say, okay. I'm gonna say that this one still is not worse than Going Overboard.
It's close.
I gotta say,
it's close for me. Okay.
But yeah, it is, as you said, not really a story. There's nothing. There's just. It feels like every scene is ad-libbed, and nobody really cares, and they take the first take on every scene, sort of.
Oh yes, that was one of the first things that I noticed. Sorry if I'm cutting you off. Like.
Oh no.
Every time they tell a joke in the movie, first of all, they're never funny. Like, it feels like it's just supposed to be like these like ad-lib kind of jokes. Like, oh, I worked with Judd Apatow, now I'm gonna do my own ad-lib movie, kind of. But this is a PG movie, so they can't swear or be nasty or anything. So it's just super boring. But every time someone tells a joke, someone laughs like obnoxiously loud. Someone in the cast. It just feels like they didn't cut out what essentially is a blooper, and that's
Yeah,
every joke in the movie basically.
yeah. So, my girlfriend who watched this with me,
Yeah.
unfortunately for her, uh,
Yeah, it's dangerous,
she,
man.
she she said something during the movie which was is so true, that all the jokes in this movie, it feels like a sitcom. You know those videos with sitcoms like Big Bang Theory, but
Yeah.
they remove the laugh track,
Yes, yes. I
and you
thought of
and
that
you
as
just
well.
feel how awkward everything is, and that
Oh,
it's like almost these pauses for the laughs, but there aren't any laughs. That's all the jokes in this movie.
yeah. It's just, and it's all it's so weird. Like every joke feels like it's on someone else's expense. Like they're
Mm,
always laughing at someone.
yeah,
Someone. Oh, he's married to an old grandma. Oh, he's fat. Oh, he's the woman in the relationship, the Chris Rock relationship. It's just so weird. They're always making fun of each other. And I guess that's supposed to be the way like friends like
to
have
show
fun.
how men bond.
Yeah, like oh,
But
you gotta be a little bit rough. Ha ha ha, hockey, liksom, like we say in
yeah,
Sweden.
yeah. I mean, because this movie is catered to the father who only stands by the grill with a beer in his hand and tells his wife to wash up after dinner and having jokes with his friends
Yeah,
and never really and go fishing on the weekend and about that guy. And I'm not saying everyone who is that way is bad, but this movie is made for that stereotype.
yeah. And that's weird as well because you can't really make a movie for. I mean, sure you can make a movie for that person, for that
Mm.
demographic, but then that should be like a like an action movie or something. This is more like a family movie, but it's
Yeah,
not made for families.
yeah,
Because I don't think kids find this very. Maybe they do. I don't know. I don't know kids, but
yeah.
it's not funny. And
No,
the worst thing about this is that, like we said, it's not really a movie. It's basically like home video footage, professionally shot, of families vacationing together, and that's fine. The thing is that instead of Adam Sandler just going on a vacation with his friends, he turned this into like a paying job where they're just hanging out on the lawn, hanging out in the water park, and they're getting paid for it.
but I think that's almost giving this movie too much credit because nothing feels natural. No jokes feels natural, or I mean,
Well, no, I mean not the actual scenes in the movie, but like in between takes, after
oh yeah,
hours.
yeah,
It's just them hanging out at a nice lake
yeah,
house together. I mean, they probably had their own lake houses around the lake, but you know what I mean.
yeah, yeah,
It's frustrating, and the fact that they're basically they're filming their own vacation, and they're using you mentioned the budget before, how this is like perfectly calculated to actually just bring in just enough money with minimal effort to be a success without trying. Because it was $85 million budget.
So it costed its budget was 80 million,
80 million, right?
and worldwide it brought in 271 million.
Yeah, which is nothing worldwide. I mean, any crappy movie can do that as long as
Yeah,
it has a couple of names in it, which this has.
yeah, but it is an almost, what is it, almost like 200% cash in,
Oh yeah, no, it's
more, right?
yeah, because I don't know what the usually double the budget, but I don't think they spent $80 million promoting this movie. Let's say they spent $100 million,
Yeah.
ultimately. That's still
Mm.
$160 million profit, which is just
Yep.
like that is literally nothing if you compare it to like big budget movies. But this isn't a big budget movie. This is just a scam to bring in a payday for these actors,
Yeah.
and they get to hang out.
I think this is this seems like peak of these cash grab
Oh
movies.
yeah. This is peak laziness,
Yeah,
and that's what's yeah, like that's what frustrates me the most. Like it is, yeah, it isn't the worst one. Why I said it was almost as bad as Overboard is because it almost has less of a plot than Overboard, but at least it's competently shot, I suppose. It doesn't look ugly.
yeah, and
That's the
this
only
one
difference.
at least this one has like characters and character arcs and things like that. I'm not saying they're good, but they exist.
Do they have character arcs?
Yeah, it's, as stated, not good character
Oh,
arcs, but
okay,
they are
yeah,
one.
sure. Like, what you mean, like
Like the mother
the kids?
realizes that
Oh yeah,
the mother realizes that she should not work because she's a woman. She should be home with the children,
yeah. That's also
for
very weird.
example. Yeah,
How she's actually like a working mother, which is a good thing, and she's successful and everything.
yeah.
But then she's kind of painted as the bad guy. I don't think it's specifically because she's working, but it is her work that gets in the way of the vacation.
Yeah,
So yeah, but I think it's
and I
the
mean,
whole thing about like even Adam Sandler's character like putting work in front of family. It's stuff like that that it's in the movie that they could have fleshed out into a proper family comedy, like a movie about family. How their
mm,
kids are detached from reality because they live this luxury life in Hollywood, and he's always working and she's always working. But in this on this holiday, they can become a family again because their estranged friends have these great family lives. But there's nothing like that.
no, this movie should have been the only way I can see how to salvage this movie, and that means like making another movie from scratch. That's that's if the focus of the movie or the main characters of the movie are the children. Do it, give it like a Goonies vibe.
Yeah. It should have been about the kids.
Yeah, but no, it's about the dads looking at young women and talking shit about their wives and
Yeah,
yeah.
it's extremely strange, and just gross. I
Mm.
it's I am tempted to say this is the worst Adam Sandler movie.
But that's because you're counting in all these that you all the things around it.
Yeah, I know,
You
but
have to think about the movie as it is,
well,
not about the stories behind it.
well,
That doesn't
okay.
matter. It
It,
doesn't matter that it doesn't matter to the score if he got a free vacation or any of that thing. It doesn't matter. Or
God
that
damn it, it does. That's what this
no,
podcast is all about.
it's slimy. Yeah, it's bad. Yeah, it is. It paints Adam Sandler as a bad person, and I can agree on that. But that doesn't make the movie better or worse.
Oh, okay. Well, how about this
This
then?
pod, yeah.
How about the way the movie paints Adam Sandler as a fucking narcissist?
Well, I mean that's all movies with Adam Sandler. That's
Yeah,
every Adam Sandler
I don't know.
movie.
It was just something about some of the scenes, like the scene where they're shooting hoops, him and Kevin James and their kids,
Yeah.
and it's just 5 minutes of him just sinking nothing but net, and he's actually doing it because Adam Sandler's actually good at basketball. You know that, guys? He's actually good at it. Look at him. He's really good at basketball. Oh, like that scene exists only to show that. Like, I'm good at
Yeah.
basketball. Okay.
Yeah. And then he's humble at the end.
Oh yeah, that was like, I actually appreciated that if there was like a through line of that throughout the movie where he like became humble, not just was humble in the last scene.
Or that we've seen the other guy because at the end there's this basketball tournament and it's
Yeah,
the country guys versus the main characters.
yeah. They're
And then
they're old rivals from when they were kids.
yeah, and at the end there's this guy who he really has it in for Adam Sandler for some reason,
Yeah.
and then Adam Sandler, and they're going at it one on one, and Adam Sandler has the shot. He can do the shot because he's great at basketball. He never misses this
He's
shot.
really good at basketball. You know that, right?
We established several times that this shot he never misses this shot,
Yeah, and it's
and then he decides then he decides to miss the shot. And immediately afterwards, Kevin James actually says he never misses that shot, just in case we didn't get it. Uh, but so he misses the shot on purpose because this other guy, he thinks this guy needs to win or something like
Yeah.
that. But we haven't established that this guy needs to win. We don't have. The only thing we established is that, according to Adam Sandler, he has a ugly wife.
Yeah, and
Yeah, he looks at the wife and says, "I'm gonna miss this one for him." But come on.
yeah, it's like he says, he needs to win sometime in life.
Yeah, but come on, can we establish that? Can we establish that that he needs this win? Can we get some like depth in maybe that he has gone down a bad path in life and he's like hanging on to this old basketball for some reason? And come on, can we get some of that? Not just this guy he has an ugly wife.
Well, they kind of do that because
he works as a chef in a restaurant. That's not a bad.
It's not a bad thing in real life, but in Adam Sandler's life, it's like, he works in a shitty burger restaurant in the country. I'm a Hollywood agent. Like our win in 1978 or whatever. That propelled us to live this great life as we do now. And he got stuck, and he lost, so he got stuck in the country life, and it's all he ever talks about whenever he sees Adam Sandler's character, Lenny or whatever he's called. So that one loss like ruined his life basically, and now he's a terrible person. And the worst thing about that is that the actor playing the rival is Colin Quinn, who's a great stand-up comedian, and he has nothing funny to say throughout the entire movie. It's just that is a waste, if anything. Like, you have a proper comedian in your movie, and you don't let him ad-lib anything? Why not?
Because he's not as funny as my friend.
Oh, no. He's... This professional stand-up comedian who has been like a legend for like 25, 30 years. He's not as funny as Rob Schneider. Okay.
Yeah, but it wouldn't surprise me if there was something like, I don't want him to overshine me or something like that. It wouldn't surprise me. I haven't read anything about that, but it wouldn't surprise me.
That. But it's just.
Did you read the original cut for this movie?
Yeah, it was like 3 hours something.
3 hours and 12 minutes.
Yeah, once again, I'm wondering if that is him. I'm drawing parallels to Funny People. Like, he's trying to make his own, like, this is a movie about my life.
For me, it's not. That's a sign that since this movie is obviously a vacation and he and his friends are having fun, while Funny People actually is a movie where they try to make a good movie, and I see it as a sign that they just filmed everything, that they just kept filming, and then they were like, everything goes in.
Oh my god.
I mean, that's the only reasonable explanation I can see. That's why the cut was 3 hours, because they were sitting there like, God, we're funny. We can't cut any of this out there. We're so great.
Could you imagine just not just this comedy in general, but just releasing a comedy that's 3 hours long? I mean, even we talked about that in Funny People, like how Funny People is too long, and that's 2 hours and 20. Imagine this movie being 3 hours long.
The other thing that really struck me, that so the original cut or first cut was 3 hours and 12 minutes long. They cut it down to just above 100 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's the good parts they kept in.
Oh.
Do you imagine what's on the cutting room floor? If this is the best bits they had.
Oh god, I don't know. You can now that you mentioned it, you can definitely tell that they just cut stuff to make it shorter.
Yeah.
Because scenes are just once again, like we said, there's no real plot other than they're there to hang out, and early on they mention that we're gonna have a basketball game on this day. They don't say what day, but a day.
Oh, they actually mentioned that.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
in the restaurant scene when he like challenges when Colin Quinn's character, whatever his name is, Dickie
yeah.
Bailey, when he challenges Adam Sandler to like, oh, a basketball game, he yells into the microphone. They do mention like that they're gonna do it. But then they forget it for like an hour, and then it just appears in the end.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, and they're really just dropping us into scenes
Oh yeah,
all the time. Just there's a joke, and then we just cut. Yep, now it's night.
Yeah.
And they're here now. Okay.
That's because there's no story, so they can just this scene is over now because we told the funny. Moving on to next scene where we do something funny, and then we're moving. And that's I thought there would be some stuff like that, but that there would be some sort of thread throughout the movie. But the only things we get that have like that have progression, it's a scene with the kids, the scene with Salma Hayek as the mom, like realizing that they have to change whatever their thing is. But that as well is just these random scenes put into the movie. It could have happened at any point in the movie.
Yeah. And this sort of veiled conflict that's sort of happening with that they're going to Milan.
I don't know what they're trying to. I honestly can't even like give an educated guess as to what the point of that was. Oh, we have duties beyond having vacations, but now we don't. Because family is more important. I guess that's the thing. Family is more important.
Yeah. It was a really, again, I think this movie is aimed for dads specifically, because I think you also need this mentality that not every, but a lot of parents have. You know, this you don't know what love is until you have a child, and you don't understand what's important in life until you have a child, and all those things. Because
Sure.
there's a lot of that that feeling throughout the movie.
Yeah.
That, oh, you have a life? How dare you? You have children. You can't have a life. You can't work and do stuff for yourself.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those things. And then there's very boomer of phone bad.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. I mean,
video games bad.
Sure, this is 10 years old by now, but still back then it would have been very, very boomerish.
Yeah.
Like, oh, kids should be outside. Yeah, okay, but I mean, just because you can be outside, you can be inside as well. It's just this that you can only have fun outside, man. We should throw a rock at a tree because that's fun. You should beat up your brother because that's fun. No, don't play video games. Oh, that's dangerous. It's violent. Beating up your brother isn't violent, but these video games are.
That's being kids.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I get it, but them making like a thing out of it, like the children are like these little monsters until they actually start playing outside, and then they all become so happy and well adjusted, and they're all friends all of a sudden. That's also just something that happens. In one scene, Kevin James' daughter is this obnoxious little creep, and then the second they start playing outside, she's like, "Oh, okay, I'll try because I want to have fun." It's just so weird.
Yeah.
Once again, that should have been like a progression from them being totally shut in to like progressively becoming more and more like enamored with being outside and going to a water park, whatever. But now it's just all of a sudden they love being outside. They don't care about their phones anymore.
There's like they're setting up a character progression or something.
Yeah.
Or a conflict, but then when the scene ends, or in the scene afterwards, they've resolved it immediately.
Yeah.
It's like they're scared to lose people's attention.
Oh yeah, yeah,
in a way. And also, as I said, with the he never misses that shot. The, the
yeah. Which is
how they
it's set up
ex-
from the beginning of the movie that he doesn't miss a shot because they
yeah.
win because of that.
Yeah, but they never trust the audience to understand anything.
No.
The exposition is so bad and it's so clumsy, and it's
Yeah,
yeah.
but
I mean, it's in the beginning when they how Adam Sandler gets to know that his coach is dead.
oh yeah.
That entire scene is just so obnoxious, and yeah,
Oh, like the rest of the movie.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And also another thing that really bothered me, like we don't get to know the characters before before the whole vacation thing, or technically before the funeral.
we get a scene which each character for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Isn't that enough?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that perfectly sets up every character.
When Kevin James falls out of a pool.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Quick tangent. Every joke Kevin James is in is that he's fat and he loves food. That's every joke about him. It literally starts with him breaking the above ground pool that he has. It's just sad because we didn't mention this last week, but I wanted to mention it. I found that Kevin James has a YouTube channel, like a lot of celebrities
Right.
do nowadays. But this isn't like something that this isn't like sponsored by YouTube, like Will Smith or Jack Black's channels are. I don't know if you've watched those; they're terrible.
Yeah, I've seen a video
Yeah.
here and there, and that yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah, this is an actual like channel that he set up, and he's just quietly made some little skits and short movies. And I mean, it's not amazing, but he's at least having a chance to show that he has proper like acting talent. He's legitimately funny, both when he's doing physical comedy and like regular joke telling comedy.
Yeah, I mean, say what you will about Kevin James, but he has a good comedic timing.
Yeah,
He just
but it's
only he just picks bad movies all the time.
yeah, because you never see it in the movies he's in.
No.
But you see him in like interviews on like talk shows or yeah on this YouTube channel. Honestly, check out this YouTube channel if you haven't. It's kind of fun actually. And I wish he had a chance to do that in the movies, but no, it's just fat guy fall down, haha. And it's not even clever.
Did you read any trivia about this movie?
I read a little bit, just
'Cause I
before
gotta
we
say-
started because I didn't really care.
Because I gotta say, there's a lot of interesting trivia around the movie.
Is there? I read through it and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, but I mean, for example, that this movie was set to release in the 1990s
Oh, right, yeah, yeah.
with Chris Farley as Kevin James' character.
Now, that could have been funny because Chris Farley is funny.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, would this movie? Of course, there would be some changes. They couldn't have the video games and the smartphones and those things, obviously. But
And
would this work in the 90s?
I don't know. It would have had to be a very different movie because first of all, they wouldn't really have been grown up. Any of them, they would have been like in their early 30s at best. Like this was like the mid 90s. So like it would be kind of hard to make it about families. I mean, sure you can start a family in your early 30s, but then the kids would have been like toddlers, all of them. So I'm getting a feeling that would have been more like a bachelor party kind of movie, more like five guys going on a vacation, leaving the girlfriends behind for the weekend. That kind of I am getting that feeling from it then. Especially if you're gonna have
probably.
Chris Farley in the movie.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see the script if there is one.
I don't know.
I mean, there should be one somewhere. But...
And that's interesting because when I read, it's written by Adam Sandler and Fred Wolf, who hasn't really been involved in any Adam Sandler movies since like the late 90s, I think. So I was like, oh,
Yeah.
really? He wrote this? But then it makes sense that it was written in the '90s, so he's credited because of that. Um,
Yeah. Another thing that I found quite interesting and a little surprising,
yeah.
uh, the regarding Salma Hayek and her casting. Did you read that?
Oh, they were looking for someone less ethnic,
Yeah, the
which
studio
is
executives. They was I'm reading suggested to Adam Sandler that they continue looking until they could get a less ethnic actress in the part. Sandler then told them he'd already offered Hayek the role and she'd accepted it, adding that he would not consider recasting the part and warned them not to bring the subject up again.
Adam Sandler is very progressive. He's very progressive.
Well, I mean,
And also, I mean,
obviously he doesn't just care about money.
no, sure, but also, who cares? I don't understand what does it matter if she's less ethnic? I'm trying to think as a producer, like, how would it hurt the movie if she's ethnic? I don't know.
But you gotta put yourself, because executive producers most of the time are like boomer white old guy men, and that's what they think. They're like, yeah, the white audience, they have the money. We need to cater to the white audience, and white audience can't relate to non-white characters. It's stupid. It doesn't make sense. But yeah, that's racism doesn't. So
Yeah, but I mean, uh, for what her character is, she's perfectly cast.
yeah,
Like all the wives are, uh, they're just there to be like the hot wives to the schlubby guys, and there are few women in Hollywood hotter than Salma Hayek. So
yeah.
as shallow as it is, perfect casting. Why would they pick anyone else? I don't know.
I don't know.
And that's a weird one. Very, especially since she's been a Hollywood mainstay since like the '90s. Oh, people won't accept her because she's too ethnic. That's I don't know. That's weird. I understand sort of, but it's weird.
Yeah. And the last trivia that I thought this wasn't as interesting. This was more an example of how this movie is made. It's really telling.
Yeah.
And the lake rope swing scene
Oh.
was added at the last second.
Yeah.
Adam Sandler told the story of how it happened to him, and it was decided to include the scene in the movie. It would be this. It was then decided it would be funnier if it happened to Kevin and James.
Yeah, because Adam Sandler, he doesn't want to get into a harness and jump and
Yeah.
everything. No, let the fat guy do it. He's funny.
But I mean, it's so telling on how the movie is. They have, it sounds at least as they sound as they're about to wrap up. Like it's the last day. They made the things, and Adam Sandler's joking around, and then he's like, "We gotta put this in."
No, you know what it was?
It's
Oh, sorry.
no.
Okay.
Keep going.
Yeah. It's because the scene is they're out walking in the forest, and then he says, "Oh, we're gonna build a tree fort," and he like puts up one stick, and then, "Oh, look, a rope." That's how they set up the scene. I bet you $1,000,000 that's what actually happened. They just kept filming. They were out there filming the tree fort scene, and he looked to his left and saw a rope. Look, let's film that, and they cut that out.
Yeah, sort of, and it's so telling. It really tells how the movie. And again, I don't know if you noticed, because I was thinking, because I have read this trivia at the beginning of the movie.
Oh, okay.
Because the Adam Sandler movies, I usually, I don't really care about the setup in the beginning of the movies, so I usually read trivia's the first 15 minutes
Okay.
of the movie to know what to look out for and have some background, and also it's just exposition anyway, so who cares?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I knew about this trivia, so I was looking for the scene, and I was taking notes. But in that scene, Kevin James lands on a bird,
Yeah.
and if this scene was put in at the last minute,
The bird scenes.
the bird scenes they are peppered through the movie. I think it's 2 or 3 more scenes regarding the bird.
Yeah.
All those scenes are like computer generated, sort of.
Yeah. I don't know.
in the end of the movie when they're raising the flag,
Oh
4th of
yeah,
July,
they let the
and then
bird
they
go.
release the bird. Yeah,
That's an obvious
that
CGI. Yeah.
that's an obvious that they recorded that scene not having the bird in mind.
Yeah, yeah, because they
Because
also
if you,
mention the bird, but you only see the back of their head, so
yeah,
it's ADR. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, that's I think that's funny that they probably put in a lot of money and effort to get this bird subplot.
But that means they then, after the movie basically was finished, wrote in a scene where Maria Bello, Kevin James' wife in the movie, uses a breast pump to breastfeed a bird. Why? Oh my god.
Or there is since there's probably a lot of stuff on the cutting room's floor. The bird was another plot that they cut out. How they found the bird.
Oh, and they added
That's
in that.
also
Oh, he landed on a bird.
yeah. Because maybe they just found a bird at the beginning of the movie,
Yeah.
and then they well, this is gonna be more fun because he's fat.
Yeah, he's gonna land on the bird and it almost dies. Oh,
Oh,
yeah. Animal cruelty. Oh, and that's also like a weird addition to the movie. Like, what is the bird? It doesn't add anything to the movie. Like, you think it's gonna be the daughter learning some responsibility, but her character is so young that they don't give her any room to have any, like, she doesn't need any character development because she's, what is she, like 4? She's
yeah.
basically a prop, like small kids are in movies. No offense
But
to kids, but
that's to show that they are kids, real kids now. They care about living things, not video games and bad phones.
yeah,
I don't know. Fuck it. There's. I mean,
You know what it feels like? It feels like another story from someone's childhood. Like, oh, we saved a baby bird on the 4th of July weekends. We got to put this in the movie.
Yeah, I mean, this. I fully think that we given this movie more thought than they did when they made it. I mean, because I don't think they think about these things. Also, the thing with Adam Sandler's wife that she's a working mother and that's bad because she has to take care of the children. Yeah, that sends a lot of problematic things about like women's role in the relationship and things like that. 100% they didn't even think about it.
No, I don't think so. And also, I mean, in the Maya Rudolph and Chris Rock relationship, she is the one who was working.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't think it's like like I said before. I don't think it's them actively trying to say that women shouldn't be in the workforce or anything like that.
No,
But
I think they also. I don't think they even think that thing doesn't even cross their mind. No one is going, hey, are we thinking about the messages we're sending?
Oh, okay,
no.
that, sure,
I mean,
okay.
Yeah, no one is involved even think that far. They're just, this is funny, put it in.
Yeah.
And that's and then they move on to the next scene, just as they do in the cutting room. They just, that's a funny, next scene, move on.
They say this, and then Adam Sandler laughs. Everybody like, oh, he laughed. Okay, cut the scene. It's over. Cut it. God, it's 4.5 hours long. What are we gonna do? Are you? Oh, he's laughing. Cut more.
I mean, yeah, and it's such a weird movie.
Yeah, it's very weird. Like a movie. I don't know. It's such a weird collection of clips.
Yeah. and that they have like this whole stretched out scene when these men are sitting and leering at their friend's daughter.
Yeah.
Who is, for people who haven't seen the movie, she's like I guess 19 or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and they are like grown men in their 40s and 50s, and they're sitting and leering. It's.
Yeah, I mean.
And that's a whole thing. That's a running joke.
It's a continuing joke. It's one thing if ugly Rob Schneider, short little Rob Schneider had super hot daughters. Sure, one scene. Yeah. Not every scene they're in after that.
Yeah, and I mean, also it would have been because they have a similar scene with the women watching the bodyguard at
Oh
the
yeah,
water park,
yeah,
and that's fine because then it's not someone who, I mean, that's a stranger.
yeah. It's not their friend's daughter.
Yeah, because that's
It's just some
really weird.
guy. You know, you
Yeah,
can look at a guy, but then it's also played off as a joke on the guy's
yeah,
expense.
yeah.
Super weird joke. I just okay. So he has a funny voice, but it just didn't work for me. Like I'm gonna try to dissect the joke, which is unnecessary. So he has a funny voice, and the joke is also that he's Canadian, but he sounds Mexican or like Hispanic. He talks like this, eh? It's supposed to be a sort of French Canadian, eh? But
Yeah.
it sounds more like Latin American. It's just, I get super confused. Like, are you from Canada? Are they super progressive, saying that Mexicans travel to Canada? And I don't know. I don't know. That was a weird joke.
Yeah, I mean, what one of the weird jokes.
Yeah, and once again, like you say with every joke, but that one just, what was the point? Ha 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 ha. He has a weird voice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, another when we're talking about the water park, such a weird. That's just how little they cared at all. There's this scene where Kevin James is peeing in the pool,
Yeah.
and they mention that the water gets blue, and he's like, "No, that's just an old wives' tale," and
Yeah.
then it
turns
gets blue,
Yeah.
and everyone runs away. Oh, that's so funny. I mean, within I think 2 minutes, they have another scene
Yeah.
which is the exact same thing, but with all the guys, including Kevin James, again.
Yeah. So it's like they have the setup of like, oh, daddy, are you peeing? And because they put a chemical in the water, and they should, oh no, I'm not peeing, and it holds it in, and then that's the setup, and then the payoff is that all men do that. Of course, they pee in the water. So that would have been
Yeah.
the actual joke. But yeah, they already have the joke of him peeing in the water, and then them doing it again.
And yeah,
They
and
ruin
I
an
mean,
almost good joke.
it would have worked if he wasn't in the scene the second time. Because I mean, he did this once. Why is he doing it again?
Yeah. Or if he wasn't, or if the first part wasn't in there, if it was just them saying they put a chemical in the water, oh okay, and he like holds it in, and then they all pee. But no, they have him pee twice. That ruins it.
Yeah, that's how little they care. They just put stuff in.
No, they actually did care because they put in 2 pee jokes, so you get to laugh twice. Come on, that's funny. Peeing in the pool is funny, so let's do it twice. Yeah, that's.
I mean, I don't think we've hated a movie this much. I maybe going overboard.
That's what I'm saying. It's just
this movie. There hasn't been one compliment so far.
No,
for this movie.
There is nothing redeeming about it. Nothing. It doesn't even have one of those loud, weird jokes that make me go out of reflex. I didn't. I mentioned that I laughed once, genuinely laughed once, but I cannot remember what it was. So obviously it wasn't that funny.
I genuinely laughed once. I don't remember exactly, but I know a kid got hit in the face with something. Well, and I thought that was hilarious.
When Salma Hayek is supposed to skip stones on the water.
Oh yeah,
she throws it in the stomach of her own kid. That's
the best joke in the movie.
That's funny, but it's only because it's just this weird violence towards children, which it's. I don't know. I think that's where I laughed as well.
Yeah.
But it's just like you shouldn't really laugh. She hit him in the stomach, and that's
with a rock.
Well, with a rock, yeah, she just threw it at him.
Yeah, so that's the only when I laughed like for real. I did laugh a few times, but there was more of this like confused laughter. Yeah. It's like, what is this?
I did it because the
joke.
Times.
Yeah, because the jokes were so. They were set up as jokes, but there's no payoff. There was no. There was. Funny. No, there was nothing funny about it, and and that's what I was laughing at. The framing of something that isn't a joke.
It's like we said about Don't Mess with the Zohan. Like all the jokes of him having sex with old ladies. Like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
I see that it's supposed to be a joke, but it's not funny. What am I supposed to laugh at?
yeah,
This
yeah,
was that was
exactly.
every joke in this movie, but worse. Because at least there's like,
Yes.
haha, he's having sex with an old lady. Here it's just they're peeing in the pool.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so I did laugh. I laughed and all the character laughed because I was, like you said, I was confused. Like, why are they laughing? Is
Yeah.
this funny? Am I watching a movie? I started questioning my reality. It was weird. That's why it took me 3 times to watch it. Because first time I just fell asleep. I was like, I'm not watching this. I made an active choice, like turn my head and go to sleep. And the second time I just turned it off because I'll finish it later. So I finished it on my lunch break today.
Um.
And I had it on in the background. So
Yeah. I when I watch these movies, every movie so far, well, except for one which fell asleep to. Don't you don't mess with the Sohan, I think. I always watch them in one go because I don't want to have the Adam Sandler hanging over my head that I have to watch more of it. It's like a band-aid. Just do it all at the same time.
That yeah, I can see that. I should try and do that. But
It's fucking weird that this movie got a 50 from Roger Ebert.
From Roger Ebert?
Yeah.
I didn't read that. What?
He gave it a 50 out of 100, and his review is a pleasant, genial, good-hearted, sometimes icky comedy that's like spending a weekend with a well-meaning people you don't want to see again anytime real soon.
That's very weird. Like, it starts out like pleasant, genial, good-hearted, icky comedy about spending a weekend with people you don't want to see again.
Yeah.
I guess that is, down the middle. He both loves and hates
Yeah.
it. 50.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Roger.
That's.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Like I mentioned this before before we started streaming. Like, it actually got a 75 out of 100 by James Bernardinelli at Real Reviews, and he says,
Yeah.
See if I can I do that? Put it on the screen? No, I couldn't. Let's go back then. Oops, now we're completely lost. Sorry, we're still live. There we are. Hello. I'll just read it. What was it he said? Yeah. No one in the right mind goes to an Adam Sandler movie for any reason other than to laugh. And Grown Ups delivers. No. Well, I did laugh, but I didn't laugh because of that the movie was funny. I laughed because the movie was so baffling.
Yeah.
So I guess he's right in a way.
We've complained now for 50 minutes. Are we going to show any clips or anything like that? Or are we just going to go over to the scores?
Fuck the clips. I don't care. Because showing the jokes won't make them any funnier. Like, we've told the jokes the exact way they're told in the movie. The only difference is they're told by Maya Rudolph and Adam Sandler. That doesn't really help in this movie, unfortunately. So screw that.
Fair enough. So, first of all, the
actors.
Yeah, the actors. The board. I don't know. What do we call it?
I call it that's the spreadsheet. I call it.
But that's the spreadsheet, right?
Yeah, and the leaderboard is the points. So
Right.
let's see here. Leaderboard should be there. Nope, that was leaderboard. I'm retarded. Here we go. Spreadsheet. Just move us a little bit up here so we can see us. There we go. So this one has a lot of actors.
Yeah.
First of all, well, no, that's Funny People, right? Oh, oh yeah, no one was in Funny People. We didn't miss that. No one was in Funny People. Grown Ups. We have David Spader.
Yep.
We don't have Alan Covert, unfortunately.
No.
No Peter Dante. He's kind of switched those guys out. We do have Jonathan Lauren. He plays one of the basket players. His role is he's stupid, which is very funny. Feels
Yes,
like
that's
he's repeating his part from the Water Boy, like,
all right.
I'm really
Mm,
stupid. That's the joke.
yeah,
We have Steve Buscemi in a very small, very weird role. I've never seen him be so. I don't know. It felt like that's the worst character I've ever seen him play. I don't know. It's just something.
I think this. No, it wasn't a bad character.
No, but it's just.
It was just it's so short. But I'd say he's the same as Crazy Eyes in Mr. Deeds.
Yeah, but Crazy Eyes was still more like a weird character. This was just like a 45-year-old douchebag with a wife beater and a cap a hat turned sideways. It was just weird. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
fair
don't know.
enough.
Whatever. He was in the
It
movie.
didn't bother me. It didn't bother me.
No,
It's
it
still
didn't
Steve
bother me. It
Buscemi.
was just oh, Stevie, what are you doing? You were in Fargo, man. And then Blake Clark, who plays the coach in the beginning. Kevin James, of course. Rob Schneider. What's his name? Nick Swardson is not in it. Neither is what is his name?
I don't remember his name.
The guy. The other, the other wedding singer.
The guy.
The other wedding singer from Wedding Singer. The peeping Tom from Little Nicky. What is his
Something
name?
on.
It's L something?
Oh yeah, Laurie.
John Lovitz. John Lovitz. Sorry.
Lovitz. You're right.
No John Lovitz and no Kevin Nealon. Who?
Lovitz hasn't been in any movie for a while now.
No, he hasn't. And then this was the first time, I think, maybe he's had a cameo before, but this was the first time that Chris Rock was in a movie. Now he's gonna appear in a lot of future movies.
He was also in. He was the cab driver in You Don't Mess with Sohan.
Right. But here, this was his first prominent role.
Yeah.
But that's that for the regulars, I think.
Yeah. There was a lot of them.
There was all of the friends, the guys were in there.
Yeah, except Covert and Dante.
Yeah, like I said, I think he switched out his friends. No, you're not famous enough. Bye. I hope that's not the case, but it feels like it. Like I can make movies with my famous friends now.
Yeah.
I miss Covert though. I miss Covert. He was always at least a little bit funny in the movies he was in.
Yeah, it was a nice surprise every time.
Yeah, how are they going to beat him up this time?
But he's coming back soon, so.
Oh, he is? Which one?
Yeah, next movie.
Oh, which is I can see what the next one is. What the next one is, if I bring up the.
Don't look it up.
The leaderboard.
You don't want to know.
Oh, it's Jack and Jill. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, oops. Now that I have the leaderboard up, let's just see. What are you rating this? Out of 100.
Oh, it's. I don't.
You got to do it, man. You got to do it.
9.
No. Oh. I was like 9 out of a 10? No, okay. 9
No,
out of
100.
Okay. So it's not as bad as Overboard, but it's basically.
Yeah,
okay.
basically.
Oops, that's an 8. 9 out of 100. All right. Fair enough.
And it's 9 because it is. There is. Yeah, we've been talking for an hour and we haven't said anything good about it, and it's not a movie. It's adequately shot. That's about it.
Yeah.
It's horribly cut. It's horribly acted. It's horribly written.
Yeah, the only thing, it's in focus.
Yeah, which Going Overboard wasn't.
That's true. Okay.
And in this one, there was actually one funny joke when the kid got hit with a rock.
Yeah, it's no slime, but okay.
So.
I'll I'll give it. Oh yeah, in the chat, great fart jokes though, right? Yeah, all the times that whatever her name was, Mama something farted. Yeah,
Oh God!
that was funny because she's a fat lady and she farts.
Wow!
That's funny, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I'll give it. What did I give Overboard? I gave that like a. I think I gave it like a 2 or 3 or something like that. You know what? I'm actually gonna completely agree with you this time. It's a 9. It's a 9 out of 100.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just terrible.
Just terrible.
It's just terrible. But at least we did it. We watched it. Now we just have to watch the sequel. And all the movies in between.
Yeah. So, time to go over the list, see where we're at and what's coming.
The next few weeks. So, like we said, next week, it's Jack and fucking Jill.
Yeah. But first of all, so, the year 2009. Right.
Yes.
He made funny people and only funny people.
Good.
The year 2010, he made grown-ups and only grown-ups. But the year 2011, he makes 2 movies. Next one we're gonna watch, Jack and Jill.
Yeah, and then
the movie after that he made the same year is Just Go With It.
Right, a movie I completely ignored. I never even knew about it until we made this list.
Yeah, same. Never heard of it. No, don't know anything about it. It looks bad though.
Yeah, but this is before the Netflix movies though, because it looks like a Netflix movie. It's just the look of it. I don't know what it is, but I don't know. Anyway.
So yeah,
that's
what's coming up.
Yeah, and then it's gonna be a rough couple of weeks now. Like you said, it's Jack and Jill. Just Go With It. Then That's My Boy, which I've heard.
And then Grown Ups 2.
Yeah, and then Grown Ups 2. Then we're getting The Cobbler, which I'm interested in watching.
I've heard mixed about it.
Yeah.
But...
Like I think I've said that off air. Like the first time I saw the trailer, it starts out like an indie drama sort of, and I was like, could be interesting. But then just becomes this weird body swap comedy. So, but we'll see. We'll see. But like I said, before that, we have some really, really, really terrible movies in front of us.
Yeah.
However, I mentioned this many times, and I'm gonna do it. I'm making a laugh count on Jack and Jill because it is widely regarded the worst movie of all time by many people, or at least the worst Adam Sandler movie of all time. And I want to see if the movie actually makes me laugh, and in that case, I have to figure out some sort of punishment.
Yeah, so this movie is the only movie that I can, when I'm looking over the list, this is the only movie that I can imagine being worse than Going Overboard.
Okay.
Yeah, of all the movies, this is the one that I think maybe this one can get the crown. Although I think I gave Going Overboard like 1, so I don't think I can give anything less.
Yeah, that's right. We start out. You gave it a 1 out of 100, right? And I gave it like something like 3 or 4 or something because of the slime joke.
Gave a little room.
Yeah.
I firmly believe this is the worst movie I've seen in my life, and there can't be any worse movie.
Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yep.
Jack and Jill is supposed to be really, really, really bad, so I guess we'll find out. Oh, we didn't mention that. But I actually just going over some Adam Sandlerisms. Like, we have the crude jokes on other people's expenses. We have the weird, mean-spirited violence against children this time. Not as much of it, but they're still there.
Also against anything.
Everyone, yeah, sure.
Yeah, but it was really bad violence.
Yeah, and this movie is produced by Sony Entertainment, and in the first scene we see, what's his name? Blonde guy, the short guy. David Spade, right? David Spade. When he's sitting in his bedroom, and he gets the phone call that the coach is dead. You see, just in the corner of the room, you see a TV screen which is playing a game called Infamous, which was a PS3 exclusive title. So there, they managed to squeeze in a Sony product.
Don't you think that also KFC?
Oh right, yeah.
KFC was
They're eating KFC, and when they come back from that whole ceremony, he has the bucket on as a helmet.
yeah
Like, haha, that's funny because they're looking at a pretty lady when he's wearing a chicken bucket
yeah
as a helmet. That helmet comes back in a later scene.
yeah I know.
And I was
Yeah,
like, why is he wearing the helmet right now? Because it says
probably
KFC
because
on it.
KFC.
All right.
And you know, there's no better advertisement than Kevin James wearing your product on his head.
You see, Kevin James, he just wants to wear it on him. That means it's good, you know? That means it's good. Yeah.
And also, Kevin James ate it, even though there was dead person's ashes on it.
Oh, that's true.
That's how good it is. That's how good it is.
That's a twofer because it's a product placement for how good the chicken is, and also look at how fat Kevin James is. He's eating dead people's ashes. Yeah. Okay. I just had to squeeze that in because I remember.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it. Let's get rid of the leaderboard. So yeah, next week, Jack and Jill.
I mean, yeah, this episode we really got. There wasn't any structure in this episode, as we usually have sort of a structure.
A little bit, yeah.
But we had so much bad to say, so we couldn't.
Yeah, I just said the first thing that came out of my mouth about the movie because I just
and we can
ventilate.
And that's how the movie feels to watch.
Yeah, it's just it's this mishmash of stuff happening all the time, and there's no structure, and you're not really sure what's going on at any moment. It's terrible, terrible moving pictures thing.
Yeah.
But hopefully next week will be even worse. I can't imagine, but people say this, so we'll see. But until then, thank you to everyone watching. We had a few people here live, and if you're watching this on YouTube later, you can watch this live on Tuesdays on Twitch. The link is down below. It's on at 8 p.m. Swedish time. Figure out what time zone that is for you. And you can follow along with us. I mean, I can see why people don't want to, because then they have to watch the movie and watch it along with us. It's not fun. But if you want to torture yourself, do that. But until next time, have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.